Hello, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my review of AEW Dynamite, the St. Patrick's Day Slam review. Loaded show tonight. Number one, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. If you celebrated, I don't know a lot about St. Patrick's Day other than, we got to remember the fallen known as James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, who I believe is not dead and will return to power at some point. So if you want to know something about St. Patrick's Day, that's a St. Patrick you need to know about, okay? James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, all right? So enough power jokes. He will return at some point in the show, but moving on, no. Number one, also, well, I'd say number two, I hope you all celebrated Austin 316 Day yesterday. So it's two holidays in a row, okay? But what do we have for this loaded show for AEW tonight? Big card, a lot going on in St. Patrick's Day Slam, enough jokes and whatnot. Let's kick off the show. We kick it off with Cody Rhodes going against Pentagon Jr. Um, Good match, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure everybody's going to talk about the finish. Now, at least Pentagon, he was able to kick out a lot of Cody's big moves, like the vertebreaker and whatnot. I don't think he kicked out of the crossroads. I think he kicked out of the crossroads at one point, but Cody was trying to go for the figure four. Pentagon tried to get out of it and, break Cody's arm, but Cody ended up rolling him up, getting the win. But right after, Pentagon started beating him up again, attacking Cody's bad shoulder. Next thing you know, Dustin Rhodes comes out, and then the Gun Club come out, and then Billy Gunn shows up, and Arn Anderson's in the ring, and then QT Marshall looks at Pentagon and just kind of stares at the Nightmare family, somewhat pissed off. Now, did Cody really need to win here? No, not really. I believe Pentagon should have won this match, and you could have done all that with Pentagon attacking if you just had Pentagon win, but this is another case of, I would say, Cody Rhodes trying to put himself over again. I can't say I'm really surprised by that. It's Cody, okay? It's Cody Rhodes. You would expect to see this at that point. At this point, all right, it's Cody, so I'm not really surprised. I'm like, watch Cody win. Watch, like, and don't get me wrong, this whole feud continues, but did he need to win? Let's be honest. And as for the Nightmare family arguing with each other, I've kind of seen a little that they've teased QT leaving the group and turning on them. So it's coming. So it's just most likely a slow burn and whatnot. A slow burn with them. At one point they're going to turn on. But let's be honest, does anybody really care about the Nightmare family like that, or whoever's in the Nightmare family? Because I don't even know all the members, but they keep adding people somehow, some way. They're just adding them. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Pentagon, I think he should have beat Cody right here. Next, the Young Bucks were in the back, kind of promo, I guess, basically talking about Phoenix and Pac as their match coming up. But Don Callis showed up then, basically having a "Don't Slap the Leg" T-shirt. Obviously, it's a shot at WWE because they can't help themselves. But he basically said, it's not been the same since the Elite left and whatnot. And listen, Omega is doing his own thing, and the Bucks say you guys are changing Kenny and whatnot, and Cal says he's a god of wrestling and whatnot, and maybe throw up a sign. You guys want the shit in New Japan. I want to see the same team I saw when I was calling the action over there. So not a bad promo. Jade Cargill went against Danny Jordan. Quick match. I guess her finish is called Jaded, or just the Glam Slam and whatnot. She looked at Red Velvet then, and basically they looked like they were gonna do something, but Jade Cargill left. So quick win. Nothing too much right here, whatnot. So obviously she's not bad though. Okay, from the match we saw with Shaq, she wasn't bad, but let's just give this some time, I guess. So we're just gonna give them squash matches on the actual show instead of putting her on Dark and whatnot. So we'll see where that goes. Next, MJF, or some would say the new Four Horsemen that came out. MJF, Tully Blanchard, Wardlow, FTR, and Sean Spears. Tully got on the mic then talking about what happened last week from Jericho to Guevara, Santana Ortiz, and described the entire beatdown last weekend, how they basically beat the crap out of them. And they're the greatest group. They've knocked them off now, and now we are the pinnacle of the sport. He said, 30 years ago, he was part of the greatest group of guys in professional wrestling, and he would end his career doing the same thing. Mark my words. So, like I said before, it's like a new Four Horsemen when you think about it. I'm going to get the MJF promo in a second, but you could kind of tell who is who of the group in a way, if you want to agree with me in that, of MJF being Rick, of course, FTR being Arn and Tully. Wardlow, I want to say he's like the Luger of the group in a way for some reason. Sean Spears, who still feels like the odd man out, is like the Paul Roma slash Steve Mongo McMichael of this group. And of course, Tully is JJ right there. But next thing you know, MJF got on the microphone. He is now the Judas. And, it wasn't easy being the most charismatic person in pro wrestling and taking a backseat to Chris Jericho as back as his hairline. And he said he's had to deal with all the little stuff in the inner circle and whatnot, that he's a mouth breather and everything. And, the goal was destroying the inner circle from the inside. And basically, MJF said his goal was to create an even better group. Okay, and now they are the Pinnacle. All right, they're the Pinnacle, and you can just look up the lineup right now because he got tired of all the comedy, ha bullshit and everything. So he was done with Jericho's mess, and basically he talked about the entire group from Wardlow, FTR being one of the greatest in tag team wrestling, Sean Spears, the chairman and whatnot, and then he described himself that he is one of the most talked about names in wrestling today. He is unstoppable at just at 24 years old, and he's going to get better with age. He's just going to age like fine wine, and he's got 25 years plus left in the tank. And when his career is over, he would be the GOAT, and not Chris Jericho, okay? And he's going to be the backbone of AEW from years to come, and he will and his group will capture every title in this company right now. And as the Pinnacle, they're going to do what they want. And right now, we're going to take your locker room, Jericho. And he basically says, I'm better than you, and you know it. So, fantastic promo from MJF. The guy is just a natural on the mic. Good promo from Tully, too. Obviously, you got two guys who could talk from this group. I will say I compared them in a way, if you remember Fortune, this almost looks almost familiar, to be honest, because TNA did this like 10 years ago when Ric Flair was in the group, and had like all the TNA originals in a way, from AJ to Beer Money. Kazarian was in it. They tried to get Desmond Wolfe, but that didn't really work. But I remember Fortune. Hopefully, it can be better than Fortune, but I do remember it being Fortune at the time. So it's very comparable when you look at it. But fantastic promo from MJF. That was good. Bear Country, Jurassic Express versus Matt Hardy, Private Party, and Butcher and Blade. I have not much really to say about this match. All over the place with this 10 mag. I'm not even going to get into the whole Luchasaurus botch I saw online, which I just thought that was hilarious. But even my friend said Luchasaurus should have been leading that match. He knew Cesar Biani was kind of inexperienced, but I don't know what that botch was. I don't know how they even. Here's the thing I get. If it's a tape show on YouTube, why didn't you just edit that out? Just think about that. Why didn't nobody edit that out, huh? I don't get that. That was horrible though. But I have not really much to say about this match. I just know Matt Hardy tried to kill stunt growth there with his twist of fate, and that's all I can really say about that. So, hey, at least he now has the Butcher and the Blade on that team. Like, I swear to God, everybody's in a faction in this company, though, okay? It's like, if they're not a tag team, they're in part of some giant faction. It's like 10 different groups in AEW when you think about it. So, if you're not in a tag team, you're in some type of clique or group or whatever faction. It's like New Japan, except New Japan had like 3 or 4. AEW's got like 10 factions going on right now. But moving on from that. So yeah, Matt Hardy and them get the win. Moving on, though. What next went on this show? John Moxley and Eddie Kingston were cutting a promo, basically saying they in a great mood. We're sipping some Mai Tai and everything. We're about to go to war again, but we gotta fix a problem, they said. We got a real problem going on. That's the Good Brothers. And, said we wasted good money on a pay-per-view, but, we could get their faces out of our minds. And basically they made fun of the whole Talking Shop Mania thing. And, say they let it from Chad Too Bad or whatever they made fun of them on. But they said this ain't Tokyo, this ain't the Impact Zone, and this is our house, this is AEW. And you stop fronting, because now basically y'all ain't never had nothing. But next, though, good promo by Kingston Moxley, though. Christian. We finally got an interview from Christian on what he's going to do and talk about he's been defined as a workhorse and everything, and basically, bust their ass every night. And he said he said John Moxley thought, he knew everything when he's from wrestling, but now he's got in the ring with him, and he's not a workhorse, and he said he's the workhorse of pro wrestling, and he talked about Kenny Omega, and he stole my time last week, so he wanted to introduce himself to him, and that he wants to let him know he's on borrowed time because he's coming for that AEW title, and he's out here to outwork everybody, and he's here to cement his legacy right now. So Christian Cage basically putting everybody on notice. Basically, he's going to get to the title, but I guess he's going to work his way to get to Kenny Omega to go against for that title. So yeah, Christian Cage. We finally got his first words from him. Next, we did get the Good Brothers, by the way, who lost the Impact Tag titles to Finjuice, which they're currently in New Japan right now, to go against Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. They attacked Kingston before the match. Good match and whatnot. End up Moxley doing a roll up on Carl Anderson for the win, but right after Gallows Anderson attacked again, Kenny Omega comes out doing some type of dance, jazz hands it looks like, and puts a steel chair in the ring and sits in front of Moxley. Then Kingston came in and attacked him from behind, so they end up hitting a magic killer on him then, and then they put the chair onto Kingston's ankle and stepped on it. Then they put a chair onto Moxley's neck then. It looked like they were going to step on it, but next thing you know, the Young Bucks stopped it. Everybody's starting to argue all of a sudden. Then they wanted to do the too sweet with the Bucks, but they weren't really going for it. Kenny says, don't walk away from me. They tried to do the too sweet again. It did not work, even though it's not really Bullet Club with any of these guys. But next thing you know, Moxley starts swinging a chair then over the fences trying to get to him as Omega and crew end up decking up out of here then. One thing I will say from this, I actually expected Rich Swann to come out. I actually really did. This would have been a good time for him to make the save because we got to promote Rebellion soon. So this would have been a good start to do that. But I figured in a way, I don't think Rich Swann's ever going to show up on this show, even though they have a match coming up soon at the next pay-per-view. But this would have been a perfect time to bring him out there because even I was like, okay, they end up bringing the Bucks out there then so they can, see who's it there. Are they in Bullet Club? Are they not Bullet Club and whatnot? Because I'm like, is somebody really going to make the save for this? And I thought the perfect time would have been Rich Swann, okay? Yeah. The Bucks, could they be turning? Could they join back up with Omega and them and have this Bullet Club thing? I don't know. But we'll see what goes on from that. Sting, the obligatory Sting promo, which we get every week nowadays on AEW, which we're gonna hear from Sting. We hear every week from Sting, and Sting literally said nothing in this segment. Darby Allin came out and talked about the attack from Scorpio Sky last week, which, by the way, we got the Scorpio Sky promo also. That was great promo to hear, by the way. Go watch this. He's no longer a stepping stone, and he's got to hurt people to get to his goals and whatnot. But Darby talked about Sky and talked about defending the TNT title 3 times since November. He wanted to be a fighting champion week in and week out, and he defended as a tribute to the greatest TNT champion of all time. A big Brody Lee chant broke out then. And he's giving any member of the Dark Order a chance to get a title shot if they want this belt back. Lance Archer then came out saying, all right, you want to be the internet's favorite, you indie-rific joke? I'm tired of you taking time, and I'm now taking time now, okay? And how many times we got to interview Sting every week, huh? We do this every week, which is kind of true. Jake Roberts saying you're playing with fire and whatnot, and that Archer's the most dangerous man. He called him a hot dog, by the way, Darby Allin. But Archer says, you like coffins? Well, I'm going to put you into one. Next thing you know, Team Taz comes out then, which is almost like a one-sided feud at this point. Brian Cage came out saying he respected Sting, and basically you're still the icon with or without a baseball bat, which pissed off the entire Team Taz and whatnot. Now, I guess, listen, a lot went on in this segment that was all over the place, okay? And I mean, a lot went over the place. And, Darby's trying to make a challenge. Sting didn't say anything. Archer wants a shot at the TNT title. And now we got Cage coming out, which I guess they're going to turn face maybe now. Almost look like he's going to turn on Team Taz. I'm like, oh, I thought Sting and them will be done with these guys at this point. But Sting comes out, Cage comes out and respects Sting, but all of Team Taz gets pissed off, like kind of early to be breaking up this group. But then again, like I said, you got 10 different groups right now in this company, okay? Or if they got a manager and whatnot. But still just all over the place with this segment though. Like literally all over the place. Phoenix went against Angelico in. Okay match. Not bad. So one would think if Angelico was gonna get a singles thing out of him and Jack Evans break up, but I don't really see that happening. But Phoenix won, so not bad of a match. It was okay. Um Next though, what do we have next after this? Oh yeah, well, they went to I'm surprised this match wasn't even this week though. I guess they were promoting what was it? Miro. I want to say something about the Miro thing real quick too, but Miro and Kip Sabian I guess had a segment which looks like a turn could be coming cuz he was basically working out and getting ready for the match with Cassidy and what's his name next week? Chuck Taylor. Yeah, Chuck Taylor and whatnot. And basically they look like they were teasing them starting to break up now. It looks like because was Miro really done with this? I think he was done with this, but Kip Sabian wanted to get involved again. He just wanted to get payback on him. They didn't like what happened with the wedding day and stuff from that, and basically they showed tension between both of these guys. Okay, so that's basically what went down in this segment. I will say about the whole Kip Sabian Miro thing is this. It's a good thing that she's breaking these guys up, okay? Because Miro, like, who do you blame here? You need to just get in the ring and win, and just do that. So I'm hopefully they break these two up soon. Now I do believe these guys almost literally buried themselves on Twitter over the weekend, no, which let me say this, and I guess I've heard the whole Miro versus Cornette thing and Sabian and Penelope Ford getting involved. Listen, I've already listened to both sides. I've already seen Cornette basically Nas eat there, all three of them for almost an hour, which is kind of funny though when I look at this whole segment, well, that segment, but just to address the Twitter thing, because number one is this. All right. Well, Cornette said something about them on his podcast, which had to do with the match, and I guess the word "slut" was being thrown around, but that had to do with what Penelope Ford's gimmick, which he was kind of describing. And then Miro just goes on and calls Cornette a mark, and you only have 40 views on YouTube, which I only believe Miro did that. And somebody said this best on Twitter. It's like a pattern online of how this goes, because it's like a cycle when you think about it. And the pattern is this: like what Cornette says something on his podcast, and then on and something on Twitter. Next thing you know, either everybody from AEW reacts and whatnot, and then everybody wants to tune in to Cornette's podcast to see his reaction. So it's kind of funny when you think about this. It's like, and I believe that why Miro said what he said, in my opinion. It's like, this gimmick ain't over. It's none of these guys are over, okay? Neither Miro, which I just believe, hopefully they, like I said, they get him away from Kip Sabian soon. Sabian is just a jobber. Nobody really gives a crap about him. Ford, I would see something in, but you just have to drop Sabian and maybe it would help her career and whatnot. But it's funny. It's like this. Okay, if we attack Cornette, we'll get over on the internet with fans on Twitter, mostly AEW fans, because they know they hate Cornette. So it'll make Miro look like some big face and everything. That's how the cycle goes. Because and his thing I don't get: if you don't like Cornette, why do you go and still listen to him? Then I don't get it. Like I've noticed it with a lot of fans. Is like you say all this stuff, you try to quote unquote cancel him. Apparently, I don't know what you can cancel from his own show. That doesn't make sense. But if you don't like his opinion, why respond? Why respond? I don't understand that. Okay, it's like getting into a roast battle, and I think I know who's gonna win that roasting battle and whatnot. Okay, and like I said, I've listened to both sides, and I heard the podcast, and he basically lyrically destroyed these guys for almost an hour. Okay, so I just think it's kind of funny. This was the only way they could get themselves over on Twitter. It's like, let's start shit with Cornette. That'll get us over, and that'll work with mostly the AEW fans and whatnot that are like, big fans and just, hey, he said this about Cornette, so this guy makes him look like a hero. They'll try to make him look like a martyr or some hero on Twitter. How many times has that been done and nothing has happened? Okay. We've seen this time and time again. People get mad. You're going to listen to his response. It'll get like 50, 60, whatever thousand views on YouTube and whatnot. Cycle continues. So this was a battle. Like Miro should have focused more, and Kip said, "How about focusing more, getting yourself over, than arguing with freaking legend managers on Twitter?" Because this got nowhere. Okay, I don't think it got nowhere, and it just looked like a waste of time. And Cornette's no saint himself. Don't get me wrong. This guy said some crazy shit too, mostly when it comes to Russo and whatnot. But there's a deeper history with death and everything. Because what did Sabian say? Oh, we're gonna celebrate his death, and then he got buried for saying that. Then yeah, man, it's just all over the place. But obviously, nothing ain't really about to happen with this. Miro's not about to run up on his house, and just looking at this whole little beef battle, whatever this is, nothing really happened. But like I said, Cornette roasting him, good listen to though. I will give him that. Funny as hell. So he went savage mode for that. So hopefully, like I said though, moving back onto the main subject, yeah, just break up Sabian and Miro because everybody's sick of this bullshit feud. It hasn't gotten over. And I almost miss Rusev Day than whatever he's got going on right here in AEW right now. But I wanted to say something about this little Twitter beef over the weekend with Cornette and whatnot. But in the main event, we got the unsanctioned match, the lights out match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Brutal stuff. Very enjoyable. Wasn't sure about this match at first, but very bloody. I will give him that. With Baker slamming Thunder Rosa's head into like the diamond part of the stage and whatnot. Even a ladder getting involved. Thunder Rosa end up kicking the ladder in the face of Baker, heavily bleeding all over the place. Then like just targeting the cut. Then right after that, basically there was a chair involved. We had a table, which what was it? Baker had got some thumbtacks and put in the ring. Then Rebel tried to come in and hit Thunder Rosa with a crutch, but ended up knocking her through a table. Then Thunder Rosa ended up power bombing Baker onto the thumbtacks. Then right after that, and basically it was a 2 count from Rosa. Baker had kicked out, and then they basically fought to the apron in, which Thunder Rosa got her big Thunder driver through the table. Looked brutal, so like death out there. And Thunder Rosa finally won this feud, which I figured she would and whatnot. But yeah, Baker looked like she was really hurt right here. So this was good. This was real good. Like I said, Baker getting better. Thunder Rosa is just great in general. Okay, so I'm glad she got a big win right here, and obviously this was the payoff to this feud that's been going on, this lights out unsanctioned match. Okay, I know my friend at one point said, I wonder if this counts in the rankings, but he even agreed to what ranking system that ranking system is just bullshit at this point. Okay, but yeah, very good main event. I really enjoyed it. Very brutal, very violent, and it did do well as an unsanctioned match out there. So I did like it. So just like one of the other times I can really say something good about women's matches on this show, because most of these women matches on this show is bullshit. Okay, so that's why I didn't really watch the Elevation show the other night, which is Dark 2.0, which I'm glad a lot of people agree with me now. The Elevation is Dark 2.0. Okay, and I didn't watch half that stuff. But other than that, I'm done with this St. Patrick's Day Slam review. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. You know how it goes. I'm out. See you then.